You wanted to talk about the failed red wave.
Oh, yeah.
You brought that up.
That's what they're saying, man. I'm not the one who did the polling. I'm not the one who took all the Republican ballots and threw them in the swamp. It's just the word on the streets. They're saying
you got a theory there, Adam?
It's not a theory. I was there. I did it. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, you were very excited about how this was going to go.
Was I?
It seemed like you were pretty confident that the red wave was going to take place.
I guess I did. I was pretty confident.
Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of people were. And I realized after it didn't happen that I didn't care that much. I was like a bandwagon fan who got sort of excited, like in 2018, like, oh, the Philadelphia Eagles are taking on the Patriots with a backup quarterback.
We all have that moment where it's like,
guys.
oh, the Red Sox are how deep into the series?
Whoa.
Oh, maybe I should pretend that this is my favorite baseball team.
Baby, check out this guy. He's from the Dominican Republic. He pitches 102 miles per hour. He's unbelievable. What's his name? Pena or Jorge or something. That's how I was about it. And I realized afterwards, like, I don't really care, blue or red, as long as the craziness on both sides is kept in check.
I think that's fair, yeah.
As long as you don't, like, as long as there aren't Bossa Nova, Sydney-esque gender swaps mandatory for kindergartners, as long as we don't, like, I don't know, give a third grader an AK-47 and teach him how to shoot on recess,
yeah,
I'm okay.
But I mean, okay, there are things that I don't like about the Republicans, and I feel like those things were mostly repudiated. Like, I feel like a big reason why I could never vote for a Republican would be that I am extremely pro-choice. Another reason I don't think I could vote Republican in its current state is I'm extremely anti-Trump. I also am extremely election denialism. Like, all that shit is extremely scary to me. The idea that our elections might be seriously impacted by people who just don't give a fuck about the results. And from my perspective, do I really care if there's a Republican in office or a Democrat in office if they're gonna run like a reasonable person? No, I don't give a fuck. If but if there's gonna be all this other shit attached to what it is to be living in a Republican state, then I'm very concerned. And it feels like more than anything else, I think the Republican Party realized through this election, oh, we can't just assume that Trump is going to save us. And if anything, he's probably a massive fucking liability. And we can't just stick all these lunatics in these positions and try to get them through. Like, I feel like a lot of the people who pushed for this hardcore election denialism are the people who took the biggest L's. And what's kind of funny is that now that everything's said and done and you didn't see a lot of this at first, you're seeing a lot of Steven Crowder and Tommy Loren and all these people are really going hard on doesn't it not make any sense to anybody that the ballots are still being counted, whatever. So they're pivoting hard into the election denialism stuff, even though I feel like the real actual Republican candidates are kind of realizing we probably don't want to go all in on that.
I will say, I totally agree with you. I think your analysis of everything's totally right. The people who supported Trump hardcore paid the price. I think abortion rights were a big thing. I'm pro-choice too. That's the one lefty thing I voted for when I made my trip to the polling place. One thing I don't really get, though, is the label of election deniers and election rejectors only being applied to the right. Because what happened when Trump first got elected? Russian collusion. It's only because of Russian collusion. Investigate him. Also,
well, there was a lot of Russian disinformation going on with
the sale of #resist t-shirts went through the fucking roof of people basically saying the same shit. Not my president. Isn't that election denial? It happens on both sides.
Fair enough. And I'm just going to steal something that I literally heard Destiny say on stream the other day. But he said, how many times did Hillary Clinton basically say that the election was stolen from her? Maybe like twice. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump has said hundreds of times that the election was stolen from him and has still not conceded defeat all these years later. Whereas on the other hand, Hillary Clinton conceded defeat the night of
Your
election.
teeth look great, by the way, buddy.
Thank you. I'm just saying.
I've been staring at those.
It's a false equivalency to say that the era of election denialism that Donald Trump has ushered in, that has spread like a virus throughout the Republican Party. It's a false equivalency to say that Stacey Abrams complaining about gerrymandering is the same thing.
Sure.
Now, she might say some things that are relatively inaccurate in that conversation. I'm sure that she's going to say stuff that maybe is a little bit, just meant to draw sympathy for her, but I don't think it's fair to say that, there's any kind of equivalency there.
Maybe the reason that I am biased toward the right a little bit and I'm latching on to the left or election deniers too, I feel like I'm slightly allergic to how every major institution, whether it's American Express or Amazon or The Tonight Show, there's only one acceptable way to vote. There's one mainstream way to vote. It's Democrat, and if you don't vote that way, fuck you.
And if you're Katy Perry and you vote for the more evil of the two Democratic candidates for LA's mayor,
The more white, the more conservative.
she got torched for that.
Ridiculous.
But then also at the same time, she still voted for a Democrat. It's not like she voted for the Republican candidate, even though you could look at him and be like, well, he was a Republican until like 6 months ago or some shit. But I mean, even seeing Katy Perry do that, though, and I am kind of convinced that she's a bit of a lunatic for other reasons, it really kind of makes me think like, oh, okay. So it is becoming a lot more normal to like voice your more moderate political concerns. And maybe over time that'll spread to like actual, Republican political concerns. Because it's basically like illegal if you're a celebrity to say anything like that.
I know. I think we're going to look back on this era, Adam, and we're going to see the turning point as when Dom Irera went up there and said, my faggot friend told me so.
Yeah.
This has been a clip from my new podcast, Sledgelords with Danny Mullen. We're dropping a new episode every week, so either hit the link in the description or search up the Adam 22 channel on YouTube. Appreciate you guys.